Welcome to this Ubuntu Project video facilitated by Zentertainment Enterprises. Be sure to like and subscribe if you learned something new. Now, onto the video.
I have discovered her, the radiant soul within me, no longer confined to shadows, no longer seeking external light. She stands unveiled, authentically herself. Within, I recognize her, the woman who resonates with authenticity, courage, and strength. Our identities intertwine. She is me, and I am her, a mirrored identity. As my 35th birthday approached, I decided to gift myself with a weekend in Austin, Texas. It's more than just a solo journey, it's a celebration of self. A decade since my last solo expedition, I have my responsibilities with my husband and children, and I leave my responsibilities with my husband and children, and I embark on this adventure. I created an agenda for the weekend. The agenda is filled with places to visit, foods to savor, and activities to indulge in. I shared that I have an agenda with a friend, and she challenged me to not follow the agenda, but instead follow my intuition. Slowing down to take it in day by day and moment by moment. I did just that. I opted to follow my intuition, relishing each day and every moment as they come, free of judgment, responsibility, and consequences. I simply lived and loved it. I paused in the thrive. I thrived. With each breath, I connected with the present. I explored the city streets, embraced nature through hikes, and reconnected with my artistic side. I was reconnected with Dami again, loving her and appreciating her. A reintroduction with the woman who cradles my dreams, emotions, and desires. I not only felt confident, but I felt seen by me. This journey wasn't only just about cultivating confidence, it was rekindling of the relationship with self. That weekend solidified the journey of self that I was on. I trust me and I accept me. I am happy and content. That weekend unveiled my capacity to live without judgment, responsibility, or consequences, a truly liberating feeling. In full transparency, I'm a recovering perfectionist. There are moments when different roles I play in life intersect, testing my newfound freedom. Recognizing the warning signs, engaging in grounding activities, and accepting that perfectionism is a myth allows me to stay present. In other words, regression is inevitable. There's neither good nor bad, they just are. Accept it as a part of the journey to cultivating confidence and be enlightening. Cultivating confidence is laying down groundwork for your journey to self. Confidence isn't mere words or affirmation. The belief that you can actually do the behaviors necessary to reach your goals is built by nurturing self-confidence. This is what we call self-efficacy, and it is so important. Recall a time in your life when you were confident, and replicating that moment is vital to your success of finding self. My aspiration for this chapter is simple, that it becomes your guide to nurturing confidence and embracing the journey of self. Step by step, let us navigate the path towards self-discovery. In doing so, may we cultivate profound self-assurance. I guess God knew I needed that chapter of my own words, me feeding my own words in this moment in time. And to be really, really transparent, it's been a rough couple of weeks for me. I would say a rough couple of months, but nonetheless, today was kind of hard. And y'all, this journal, if I wrote it for nobody else, I absolutely wrote it for myself, and I wrote it for her. Like, oh my God, Dami is remarkable. But let me get back to topic because I am clearly off topic. I clearly needed those words, and I hope those words reach somebody's heart today. Welcome and thank you for joining me on this last and final session where I'm going to be exploring the intersection of gender dynamics and mental health from the perspective of women. I'm a woman, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all. So this session is titled Intersecting Womanhood, understanding gender dynamics and mental health. So today, I will be reflecting with you on the complexities of navigating womanhood and its impact on our mental health and well being. In this session, viewers will have the opportunity to reflect on unique challenges from women. I'm going to just tell you my business because clearly that's how I started off this session. How we face as women, reflect on the unique challenges that women face due to societal norms and expectations. And I'm going to try to explore these factors in through the and offer some guided visualization. So there'll be a lot of pause and reflecting and writing down and journal prompts, etc., that I'm going to provide you to kind of encourage self-reflection and self-care. So if you don't already, I want you to take a moment to pause this video at this moment, grab a pen, grab some paper, and make sure you're in a space that is quiet, kind of free from noise, so that you can really dive in and get the best that you can over these next few minutes. Context, I believe context is super important when talking about certain topics within mental health. Now, again, the topic is around mental health and its impact on women as it relates to the roles and how gender norms significantly impact women in this day and age. And so what I want to do is I'm just going to kind of list off a few examples and ways in which gender dynamics impact women and how it adds pressure to the mental health of women. And although these examples are specific about women, when we get to the portion around journaling and journal prompts, if you're not a woman or identifying as a woman, watching the video, you can absolutely engage in the journal prompts. The journal prompts are absolutely, journal prompts and guided imagery are neutral. And anyone can participate in that. So number one, the first area in which, key area where gender dynamics impact or intersect with mental health of women is when it comes to societal expectations and the role of women, right? So we all understand and know many times people expect women to work like they don't have kids and then have kids like they don't work. And that is immense pressure that women often face to try and be a caregiver, a homemaker, and emotional support for others. And it leads to a lot of stress in that regard. And then it leads to a lot of what they call guilt, a guilt to unable to provide naturally an aspect of nurture, right? And that impacts work-life balance because women, again, are frequently expected to be professionals, but then take care of all these other stress and undue stress. And I would also think of the societal pressures around body image, also can lead to depression. So a lot of women not feeling that their body, especially after having children, is not is not, how do you say, snapping back like they wanted to. Things are stretched, things don't work like they used to. Body's completely different. So how do I fall in love with my own body, right? And even outside of children, I think women, especially women who may be wanting to be fertile and give children and thinking that their body has failed them in some kind of way, and having to face the difficulties with infertility and so on and so forth, that impacts stressors and impacts the mental health of women altogether. Another key factor, the second key factor that I want to talk about a lot is the discrimination of women on the job in the workplace. So a lot of women experience gender discrimination, so pay gaps, lack of promotion opportunities, sexual harassment. All of these things leads to anxiety and reduced self-worth. Women of color, women in the LGBTQ plus communities face women who have disabilities face compounded discrimination and impacting them in a severe way. A third way or third key point, I guess you could say, that I want to talk about is relationship dynamics. So oftentimes women have a lot of the emotional labor in a relationship. So often bearing the brunt of emotional labor in relationships and having to manage the emotions of their partners and everybody else in the family. This can be cultural, or this can be just assumed responsibility. And then sometimes women are disproportionately affected by domestic violence, which can lead to PTSD and anxiety and depression and other mental health ways, right? And the last but not least, cultural norms, which I spent a lot of my third session talking a lot about the women's are expected to conform to specific behaviors and lifestyles, which can lead to kind of an internal conflict between like their mental health struggles and their personal desires or identities. So those are the ways and key points that I kind of want you to keep in mind when we talk about the ways in which gender dynamics impact women's mental health. So there it is. I laid it out. If you want to go back and listen to those key points again, then you can absolutely do that. Otherwise, if you feel like you got it, let's keep rolling. So I want to take you on a journey of kind of guiding you through some journal prompts. But before we do some journal prompts, I wanted to take you on like a very, very brief guided visualization. And visualization is simply like you're going to close your eyes, you're going to kind of bring your body and your mind down to a calm, and I'm going to guide you onto where you should be so that when you can fully engage into this journaling experience, etc. So I'm going to keep it light, nothing heavy, and literally it's going to take like 3 minutes in order to engage in this work. And this is the part where you will need a paper and a pencil to kind of fully engage in. And I'm going to try and like do this as I'm talking. So I'll try much as possible to model what this could look like or should look like, right? The first thing I'm going to do, I want you to close your eyes. And I'm putting my hand on my chest. You don't have to because I want you to see how I take a breath. And again, see, I'm open my eyes. I'm supposed to close your eyes. Your eyes need to stay closed, but just listen to me. I want you to experience how I'm taking my breath. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. If you notice, when I took my deep breath in, the only thing that should be moving is my chest, right? I'm not moving my neck. I'm not moving my face. I'm not moving my shoulders. So I didn't do this. Like, that is not a deep breath. That's like, I don't know, the beginning of a heart attack. So when I take a deep breath in, a deep cleansing breath is what we call it. It's in through my nose and it's out through my mouth. And the audible breath out, release out does help to tame and tone and provide calmness for the body. So I'm going to demonstrate that again. So deep breath in. One last time, deep breath in. Now, the rule of thumb is that we're deep breath in for 4 counts and we exhale for 4 counts. So I want you to continue to breathe. We're going to try that a couple of times. So deep breath in and exhale. Now, I just want you to find the normal rhythm of your breath. So that means I'm not forcing myself to breathe. I'm breathing how I normally would breathe, however it may come to me. And I want you to keep in mind that thoughts may enter your mind during this time. That's completely fine. The goal is not to shut our brain off and shut our mind off. But what I want to challenge you to do is every time a thought enters your mind, I want you to refocus and recenter to your breath, the simple rise and fall of your chest. Your body is doing what it needs to do. I need you to trust it at this time. Good. You're doing a good job. Now, I want you to imagine yourself in a place where you feel completely at peace. This could be a serene beach, a quiet forest, or a cozy room. And as you settle into this place, I want you to think about the societal expectations you've encountered throughout your life. So maybe you were expected to take on a certain career path. Maybe you were expected to be in a certain relationship. Maybe you were expected to have a certain gender and sexual identity. I want you to reflect on how these expectations have shaped your experiences and feelings. So we want to bring that to the forefront of our mind. Now, I want you to open your eyes and bring your awareness back to the present moment slowly. And I want you to take your pen and pencil and I want you to answer these 3 journal prompts. Number 1, what societal expectation have you felt pressured to meet? Number 2, how have these expectations affected your mental health? And number 3, in what ways have you navigated or resisted these pressures? So this is the moment of the video where you would pause and to take about 10 to 15 minutes to simply answer these journal prompts. Well, welcome back. I'm assuming that you took time to answer those three journal prompts. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into those reflections. And I want you to think about a certain situation where societal expectations impacted you. How did you feel? How did you respond? I want you to consider writing these reflections down as well and pause the video if you're needing more time. So, I'm going to share with you my societal expectation or pressure that I felt like I need to meet. And if you can reference in the beginning of this video, your girl was a mess. I was a mess because I was thinking in this chapter 5 of my book, so week 5 of my book, it's titled Cultivating Confidence. And I'm sharing about my experience of really like finding freedom and being me. It was my 35th birthday. I took time off away from my kids and my husband. And I have not done a solo trip in 10 years. I kind of have taken on the work and the brunt a lot in our family, in my family dynamic and structure, and just kind of being there for my kids. I don't have a lot of support nearby me. So it's kind of me with my children all the time. My husband works about 2 hours away from the home as well. So there's just a lot of pressure there. So I think I had this expectation, like, like a good mom is present and always around and thinking about my childhood and growing up. My mom was like physically present and physically provide, but she wasn't always there for things. So she didn't come to a lot of my practices or games or concerts or what have you. She did show up for the awards and accolades and things of that nature. So I kind of put this pressure on myself to kind of, I need to be at every single thing for my child because I want them to be there. And I think that's great and dandy, but I think in a way to where kind of like I lost me. And sometimes after having children, you just settle into the role of mom that you tend to just forget about you. And I know this is not everybody's story. I'm just sharing you my own personal story. And maybe for you, it's not about mothering or motherhood. Maybe for you, you feel as though you have to be the mediator between your parents and their marriage. Maybe for you, you feel as though if you do not coordinate the family, then nothing gets done and a problem is not resolved. Maybe for you, you feel as though because you're the oldest, you have to provide financially for the family. Maybe you feel like the black sheep of the family, so you feel like you can't push back. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. I'm not certain what expectations society has placed on you, your family, your culture has placed on you. But I wanted to give you a moment to let you know, like, you can change. There is absolutely ways and areas where you can create self acceptance, set boundaries, and build resilience in the face of like any kind of related stressors that's added kind of to you. So before I conclude this video, I want to offer up 3 strategies as a way to promote self-acceptance, boundary setting, and building resilience. The first one is positive self-talk. If you're in your mind, if you're constantly hearing the negative criticisms, and you're confronting yourself with negativity, but you're not taking time to challenge that with words, then it's just going to kind of continue, right? The battle oftentimes is your mind, so you have to fight the battle in your mind, right? So replacing negative criticism with affirmations kind of can help you embrace your strengths and as well as acknowledge your achievements. The second one is boundary setting. Learn how to say no without feeling guilty. Now, oftentimes in the therapy world, for me personally, I don't focus on the guilt. I focus on the practice of just saying no over and over and over again. Consider it to be kind of something of an exposure therapy. Your time and your energy are valuable, and you have to take responsibility to communicate your needs clearly and assertively to the people in your world, right? At a certain point, we become enablers of our own victimization, and we can't continue to blame the people that are around us when we are the ones not setting the boundaries. And setting a boundary, you may have to do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. A really great resource that I often suggest for a lot of my clients when it comes to boundary setting is a book called Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra Tawwab. That is a really great resource on just some foundational levels of what boundaries are and how to set them. And what I love about that book is because it also gives you a lot of language, but people often get stuck on how do I set this boundary and what does it mean? So setting boundaries is number 2. And last but not least, developing a support network, building some resiliency. Connect with others who understand and validate your experience. I am so lucky to have invested time in creating a community of people who just get me so that when I'm going through things or I'm just like hurt or whatever the case may be, I can engage with them in some type of self care activity. Tonight, even after I finish video, I'm going to the movies because I need to refresh my mind. I need to nourish my mind, my body, and doing that with people who love and care about me, right? So, as I conclude this session, I want you to remember that promoting self acceptance and resilience is a continuous journey, right? Setting healthy boundaries is crucial, but it's continuous. It's continuous. Just like I said in that book, regression is inevitable, but we cannot be afraid of that. We have to continue to try and try and try and try again. So, I hope that some aspects of this session landed with you. And I thank you for taking the time out for yourself to practice. And I hope you practice these strategies regularly and remember to pursue support in your one another in pursuit of your mental well being. So that is all. That's all I got. Thank you so much for participating. And thank you so much for listening to me. And I'll see you soon. Peace.
Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to know when we upload a new video.